Here's the thing about attraction. Your dopamine system literally assigns higher value to people who are hard to get. You can spend weeks obsessing over someone, crafting the perfect texts, analyzing every interaction. They finally say yes to a date, and suddenly you feel absolutely nothing. The butterflies die, the spark fades, and what seemed irresistible becomes ordinary in an instant. This isn't just being picky, it's your brain playing psychological tricks on you involving attachment styles and neurochemistry. 5 psychological reasons explain why people lose interest the second someone chooses them back. And if you've ever felt your excitement evaporate the moment your crush started texting you back, you're dealing with one of the most fascinating contradictions in human psychology. The first culprit is the scarcity principle, first codified by psychologist Robert Cialdini in his landmark book, Influence. Your brain literally assigns higher value to things that are hard to get. When someone's unavailable, your dopamine system goes haywire, creating that addictive rush of wanting. But here's the twist. Dopamine isn't actually the molecule of pleasure, it's the molecule of pursuit. The moment that person becomes available, the chase ends, and so does the chemical high. This creates what behaviorists call intermittent reinforcement. The unpredictable nature of their responses keeps you hooked. Psychologist Shaurya Galawat explains it perfectly. We lose interest when we gain power, and when someone admits they like us, that's exactly what we feel. The second reason runs deeper: attachment styles. If you consistently lose interest once people start caring about you, you might have what's called dismissive-avoidant attachment. Studies show that 25% of Americans have this attachment style, meaning they're uncomfortable with emotional intimacy and unconsciously push people away when things get real. Licensed counselor Rachel Sims notes that people with this style usually date many people, but lose interest as soon as a sexual partner tries to connect with them on a deeper emotional level. Third is the dopamine paradox. Your reward system craves novelty and literally habituates to repeated exposure. Research reveals that while your brain creates a unique neural signature for a new partner, this distinction fades as familiarity grows. It's not that the person becomes less attractive, it's that your brain stops releasing those intoxicating chemicals once the outcome becomes predictable. Renowned anthropologist Helen Fisher, who has conducted extensive fMRI research on romantic love at Rutgers University, found that passionate love only lasts 12 to 18 months before these brain chemicals naturally decrease. As oxytocin, the bonding hormone, begins to take over from dopamine, the shift from thrilling pursuit to comfortable attachment can feel jarring. The fourth factor is fear disguised as boredom. Sometimes what looks like sudden disinterest is actually your nervous system hitting the brakes when vulnerability becomes real. As one researcher put it, it can be easier to say, "I guess I didn't want it after all," than to admit, "I'm scared now that it's real." This happens especially often if you experienced inconsistent caregiving in childhood. Your brain learned that getting close means getting hurt. What you're experiencing is actually limerence, psychologist Dorothy Tenov's term for obsessive romantic attraction that thrives on uncertainty. The fifth and most overlooked reason is perfectionism as a defense mechanism. Some people unconsciously set impossible standards, ensuring no one can ever truly qualify for their love. Clinical psychologist Dr. Sarah Tukey suggests examining whether you're using these impossibly high bars to protect yourself from the messy reality of actual intimacy. Here's what's really happening in your brain. When you're pursuing someone, you're running on prediction error. The gap between what you expect and what you get keeps dopamine flowing. But once they're yours, that gap closes. Your brain essentially says, "Mission accomplished, moving on to the next challenge." The solution isn't to keep chasing unavailable people forever. It's developing what psychologists call secure attachment, the ability to find excitement in emotional intimacy rather than just emotional uncertainty. A 2020 study from Southern Methodist University researchers Nathan Hudson and William Chopik found that simply being aware of your attachment patterns can help you become more secure in relationships. Next time you feel that familiar loss of interest, ask yourself this: am I bored or am I scared? Am I seeking connection or just validation? Because mature love doesn't feel like a constant adrenaline rush. It feels like coming home to someone who sees all of you and chooses to stay anyway. The people who lose interest when they're chosen aren't broken. They're just running outdated software that mistakes anxiety for attraction and confuses love with the high of being wanted by someone who doesn't want them back.